This is the Situation Room, the Spice Baraza on this Wednesday, and we're looking at certain things. Of course, things come and go, but one thing that has come now, and maybe a happy accident, a situation where a friend took a friend to register to vote and posted it on socials later and said, we've done this, and before you know it, almost 700 people are registering, and before you know it, around the country, everybody's saying, well, you know what, this thing is actually possible. We can register, and that's great. But Allan, people are asking the question, then what? Are you at a then what moment in your head that you can register to vote, but then what happens with that? Is it directly connected to leadership? We're going to come back to everybody else at this point, but for you, was there then next? Is there a then what moment whereby you're saying, okay, so we've registered and that's wonderful, but what are we actually doing with that registration?
There's definitely a then next moment for Tuko Kadi, and it's already happening, minus us him taking the effort. It's already happening with the minus even us saying that this is what we want to do after the Tuko Kadi moment. You see young people started to present themselves as younger leaders. You say young people started to present themselves as possible aspirants. And you also see young people doing civic education, political educations for themselves. Because what if we register for voting, then we don't know what we are going to do with the vote. Because in the previous election, almost 8 million Kenyans did not turn up to vote.
Right.
So what are we going to do? What if we achieve the 6.3 million that IBC is looking at, but only 1 million turn up to vote? What if we achieve that 6.3 million, but out of that 6.3 million, we have only 2 younger candidates? And as the lady said, being young is not a green light to be elected, because we also have to look at why we are electing you. We are not electing you because you are young, and we are not in a generational war, the old versus the young. We are here to make change. We are here to redefine the Kenyan politics. We are here to redefine, to actually work on our future. 10 years to come, it's our children who will be going to schools. 10 years to come, it's us who will be still here trying to pay our rents. 10 years to come, it's us who will be suffering for the bad policies that we are busy being quiet while they are being said. 10 years to come, we are the same people who will be still suffering from the bad governance or the misgovernance that we are seeing. So the next phase of Tuko Kadi is actually civic and political education, and also the whole voting process. Because once you register for voting, you have to know who you are going to vote for, how you are going to vote. Because then again, we don't want all the 6.3 million people to turn out on the ballot, and we have 5 million spoiled votes. So what were we doing? Were we just casting our votes for nothing? Were we there sweating for nothing? So yes, there's definitely a next step or a next moment for Tuko Kadi. Okay.
It's interesting because some of the opinions that have come out before is that Tuko Kadi means drain the swamp, get rid of everybody who's there. We want new leadership. Tuko Kadi means we want young people coming in and taking up these positions. Allan says it doesn't matter what political party you are affiliated with or whom you're affiliated with, so long as you've taken that civic step towards the vote. So we're going to go around again, because I don't know if now with Allan's arrival, your opinion has changed.
Because, I was, again, part of our conversation last week, and there was something that was thrown in there. I don't know how you guys will take it, but it was said, fine, nyinyi mko na kadi, but the political class wako na joker.
What?
It's actually who has the joker, not
right. So no, that was said in that meeting. So now, question is, when you say Tuko Kadi, have the young people realized that it is them who have the joker, that they have the most powerful card in this card, in this, what do we call it? Deck. In this deck, they have the most powerful card. That, as we talk about what next among the youth, we look for the very best there is, because we also don't want to vote a youth because you're a youth, but we want to vote a youth who will get to parliament and know their role. That when they are told NGCDF we are removing because it's unconstitutional, they understand that that is the law. And these are the conversations we are having. Amasi Tuko Kadi, we are draining the swamp, but we are not agreeing on who we are replacing that swamp with. Yes.
Let me start by saying that being young in Kenya, a young adult, is a qualifier, because the trend in Kenya with the political class has been we re-elect people from the same families. Politics has become like a family business in Kenya. It's the same names we hear, a grandchild, a child, an in-law. Being young means I know the realities on the ground. I have lived them. The political class is, let's say, out of touch with the realities on the ground. They don't understand how someone who's educated, has a degree, has even a master's, cannot have 1,000 bob. And that is why we saw something like the Nyota come up, and the political class is telling us, we will give you 22,000, and that should be enough to set up a business. In the 90s, that would be a lot of money, because a young person will have taken that 22,000 bob, paid rent for a small stall, and bought stock. But today's economy is so harsh that 22,000 cannot even pay rent and deposit. The economy is extremely harsh today. The cost of living has continuously gone high. Taxes, the payslip is heavily burdened. This is the first time that we are seeing Kenyans take home about 55% of what they're getting from their payslips. So it is extremely burdened, but the salaries have remained constant. An entry job in maybe 2000 used to give someone 15,000 bob.
Yes.
The cost of living was very low at that time. An entry job today is still 15,000 bob. So tell me how the political class is understanding that this is not enough. The policy, our policies and our laws have matured with the times, but the realities that translate into the ground are not maturing. They're not translating into what is on the ground currently. And let me say that, first of all, let me thank Allan for starting the Tuko Kadi movement. And I see this as a relay. We still will want to go back to 2024. There was the demonstration. And then this is another, someone who's passed on the battle. And someone else will come up with something else that will keep the fire burning. And we remind people, these are the young people, we are speaking up and we are not stopping. Because economic pressures don't just come and go. They compound. What someone was experiencing 5 years ago has compounded into something bigger. And that is why we're seeing leaders like Rigathi Gachagua align themselves with the Tuko Kadi movement. They're not trying to hijack the movement. They're just trying to align with a constitutional movement, because it's constitutional. Voting is a constitutional right for every Kenyan. Okay. And that is what he's trying to do.
Okay, so let's pass around.
Let's just pass it.
Because something.
Could you go to the guy at the end, because it's not spoken.
Yeah, it's not spoken yet.
All right, thank you very much. My name is... Okay,
we
thank
see
you.
Yeah.
First, thank you very much. My name is Anthony Karumba, a.k.a. GenZs 001.
001. All right.
001.
Okay.
Yeah. And of course, the leader of, One Tribe, One Nation, GenZs movement. Comrade in the struggle, Ademba here is my good friend. And of course, let me start by saying this one thing. We have two people here at this time. We have the political class, and we have us, the GenZs. Actually, the best time to refer to the GenZs is the young dreamers, the people who understand very well who they are, what they want, and where they want to go. At the same time, when I'm talking about the destination, it's about the potential of this nation. Kenya, at this time, should not be part of the third world countries as where it is right now. But we have been led here because of the bad governance. We have been led here because of corruption. We have been led here because of tribalism, the politics of mtuwetu in quotes. Yeah, and I've had my sister here speak and actually support, like how we have seen politicians coming in and intruding and infiltrating into a GenZs movement. The reason why I have said we have two people, we the GenZs, we are a conscious generation. We are genuine, and that's why everything we do, it's very organic. You have seen what has been happening here in Nairobi. All the IBC registration centers, people are actually flooding there without being coerced, without being told, you're going to do this. People are just, the love for the country is what is driving people to do that. The need and urgency for change is what is driving people to do that. But you have the political class, likes of, I don't want to mention names, but of course we be specific, the DCP party leader. The other time actually he even branded the youths you saw, the GenZs that actually had shown up in Karatina. They had come there organically. They were not actually mobilized by the DCP party to come and vote there. No. But now these people, we have a trend of corruption in everything, even in what GenZs have actually started. Somebody just want to come with a corrupt mind and say they hijack the movement so that they are seen as though now they are friends to us. Remember when we came to the streets in 2024, the same people, after we went to the streets and fought, grappled with tear gas, grappled with bullets, live bullets and rubber bullets, after that they are actually showing up. After Tumeshinda, they are actually showing up and telling us, my sons and daughters. Those are shenanigans that we cannot actually condone. You see, the GenZs of Karatina, when they came up and actually went to vote, they were actually donned with T-shirts branded us with the party colors. Let me say this. If anybody needs the support of the GenZs, because we are very serious, we are registering, and this is very serious. It's about order, it's about structure, it's about strategy, and we are registering massively. Tunasema 15 million strong is our target. And I want to say, any politician who thinks that fits and actually wants the support of the GenZs, we are not the old mentality of coming to tell us wewe ni Mkikuyu, wewe ni Mjaluo, mimi ni mtu yenu. Those ones actually, they are behind us now. Now we are changing. If Kenya is to become a first world country, it's about policies. Come and tell Kenyans, this is the dream I have for you. We have so many people who have graduated, yet unemployment is a crisis at this time. This administration, when they were coming into office, they actually promised 4 million jobs. Right now, where are we? Not even 100,000. Yet, the young people are still crying. Massively, they voted 2022, waiting to be given opportunities of jobs. Now, some of the characters here who are telling us that now, GenZs, you're looking for change. Yes, I'm here as your solution. My sons and daughters. Some of them were there. They were even part of the promises and telling people, the problems you're facing, let us get into the offices within the first 100 days. So, in short, what I want to mean is this. Yeah. Let us not be hypocrites. Let us speak the truth. The political class, majority of them, and that is why Ademba has said here, this movement and this Tuko Kadi initiative, it is a GenZ organic driven movement. But the political class, when they are coming intruding into this, it's because basically we are used to their politics. We are used to their politics. We know where they are aiming. But our point is, to them and to anybody who needs support, as we are not into pro-government, as we are not into this united opposition and whatever else, as it's about the individuals who comes and they aligns with the policies of good governance, policies of how to end corruption. Like, for instance, finally, as I finish, when Kenya today we speak about heading to Singapore, it's very good talking about Singapore, but who introduced the idea of Singapore? It's the GenZs. GenZs came out because of the policies of bad governance, corruption, lack of transparency and accountability. Look at it now. The Lee Kuan Yew, what's the name of that?
Lee Kuan Yew.
Yeah. The Prime Minister of that Singapore actually the first things he actually emphasized on most, and that is why that country, it is among the first world countries. It's about good governance. It's about how to deal with corruption. But look at every leader who comes in Kenya. They actually come, they hype people, they promise people, but corruption, when you ask them the questions of corruption, hapo ni vile tunajuana sasa. In Kenya right now, they are making life so hard for the young people because for you to get an opportunity, a job employment is not about your credentials. It's about who you know and how much you have. But that is now the narrative that is making us aggressive. Thank you.
He's not spoken. Let's just hear him speak here.
Thank you very much. My name is Moses Rono from Limuru, former president of St. Paul's University, and also an aspiring member of parliament. Allow me to start by saying this, that the enemy of knowledge is not ignorance, but rather illusion of knowledge. And I think that is what we are trying to combat. That many a times we are being used, I think my good brother here has mentioned, that these movements are being infiltrated. And I think I will not focus on the infiltration, but rather give the solution, that we are being infiltrated simply because we've not provided the way forward, or now the direction. We came up with the maandamano, okay, not maandamano, but the Gen Z movement when we were against the finance bill. And we all went to the streets regardless of who we are supporting, because we were against the very things that they were passing. And when time, or is it like almost a year after that, of course the political class came in, and I think we also need to stop mentioning the political class and mention the names, because again, mesema, we need to be honest. When people came and infiltrated our movement, they did that because us, we were there and we promised our good friend, let's say our leader for them, that was Caswell.
Okay.
We told Caswell the truth that Caswell came, and we hyped Caswell and told Caswell wewe ndo uko sawa, and he was almost giving us direction. Okay. And we followed him for quite some time. And then again, he did not provide the solution, because he went, had the conversation with the late Baba, and it seemed like for those that were against Baba, it seemed like he had been bought. And then Baba went into government, and it felt like again we've been bought once again as a movement, because that is the person that we believed in. I had a conversation with we had I think it's like a month ago, we had a conversation known as Gen Z Gumzo, and we had different generations in that rooms, and most of the older generation were telling us that you guys seem to be having the speed, but your direction is not quite clear. That you might be moving so fast, but in the wrong direction. So my point in all this is, if we are able to show people that we can move and we can make a difference and not elect people by virtue of age and end up being, there's something I love to say, that if a clown gets into the palace, he does not become a king, but rather the palace becomes a circus. So I feel highly that we might be electing young, incompetent leaders who go into the palaces and instead turn the palace into a circus. So if we are to provide direction and give people or support one of our own who has credible record, that this person is not just another hype, it's not another Casmuel, it's not another Morara that we want to support, that we want this person has really proven that they are able to do it, and if it is the majority that we are supporting this particular person, then we are able to make a tangible difference. If not, politics goes back to, we cannot play neutral in politics. We have to choose sides. And our side, there's somebody that says that the the organized minority can really and easily defeat the disorganized majority. And we are somehow we are the disorganized majority. If we can only arrange ourselves, get ourselves candidates, prove that these people are able to make a difference, and we support them. And we cannot say that this person will choose them come 2027. We know very well politics is, we need to plan ourselves. Those of us ambao wako politics, my good brother here, Levi, and he can tell us that a lot goes into politics, and we need proper time, proper planning, and to ensure that we register as many people as possible, as my good friend Allan is pushing. But beyond that, let us have somebody that we are going to support, and not just like the other day, tuliambia Maraga that you are the best person, and Maraga has been going around the country. Right now he has a pay bill to support him. How many of us here as the young people have actually supported him when we said that we are going to have this person?
At least one person here.
There's only one person. Assimilated Gen Z. Yeah. But if you ask a lot of the young people who at that particular time were saying that this is the best person because of his track record, they have not really contributed.
Let me just drop something in the fire as the simulated Gen Z takes the mic here. So I want to look at the current political class that we have right now. If you just look at the story, they started the struggle as young people at the time. They were the future that Kenya was looking forward to. They were fighting the regime at the time. But look at what it is we have today. They got into palace and made the palace a circus. As the young people in this room, in the country today, Tuko Kadi, organic, we want to know what you want to change the situation. How are we ensuring, I again repeat, that individuals that get into there as young people do not change that palace to be a circus? Are we having these conversations?
Can I attempt?
Yes, please do. Before we come back to Ademba, yeah.
I think you and Dennis just confirmed before Allan came in what I was actually my proposition. I didn't really know how Allan started, but I think most of the things I said probably he has confirmed that in the process of, you know, as young people trying to find our way out of the noise into the organized system, then there was a need for us to begin to understand how the political and electoral system works. And I think that is what probably Allan has reinforced, that, you know, from a movement to a Gen Z street protest into organized understanding that we need a vote to transform, for us to make a decision at the ballot. I just also wanted to say, as I come to Dennis' question, is that this morning, I think I've tried to engage with Kibra IEBC constituency office.
Okay.
Because that is where we're organizing the enhanced voter registration. And I asked him this morning, because I was coming to the set, I asked her, what numbers do we have? And I think I've seen 720. That is for the 3 days. Is it the third day? It could be probably the third day, 720 Asian.
Since the enhanced year, because it started, today's the 30th, because it started on the 30th of March.
This is the third day.
Yes.
So 720 is all like, we are given 700 per day.
Given what?
A target for each and every constituency, 700 per day. And I said, that's okay. That's okay because, it's beginning, and actually we are getting people to register in the support. So what exactly is the conversation evolving? Is the fact that there is young people turning out to register. That's a fact. That's a fact. People are trying to understand what is the annexure between me having a vote and translating that to the voice. But the problem that I'm actually want to highlight is there's still the gap of understanding, the skill gap of what does this vote mean? This is my only missing link. And I thank Allan because we solved one problem. The one problem was beyond the street protest, how can young people go and vote? What is the modality? What is the technique that can lead us to go and take the vote? But now we are going to take it, is we need to find out how to understand what is this thing. Is this the water that we drink each and every day? Is it the education system? Is it the sanitation system? So I think this is the level of civic engagement that, Dennis, we are going to. And I keep on playing and saying safe again. We do not have to have figured it out now. What we are actually doing is finding our way how to figure it out, and which is okay. So I think that for me is a good thing. Hoping that, Allan, you've heard historically what has been mentioned, we had the likes of Kasmil, we had the likes of Morara. We hope you stay in the movement. We hope that we will not hear out that you're on this other end and now the conversation has started. Now you are saying other things that we do not understand, because it happens. We've seen our colleagues do this thing and they are taken over by the system. And for us to continue to appreciate the work that you've done, we urge you to stay on the course, and keep us reminded that this is the objective. The objective is to get young people voted. The politicians can say whatever they want, but the objective is to keep young people voted. The objective is for us to continue civic education. Thank you, Dennis.
Let's listen to Priscilla and then we...
Okay, Priscilla, then we come back to Ademba. Okay.
We come to the next round, yeah.
Thank you. First of all, the question you have asked, how do we ensure that the young people who get into power right now will not be our problem in the future? That one is a very tricky situation, because right now kila mtu analeta manifesto, zina resonate na sisi, zina make sense, but 20 years from now, 10 years from now, we might not want the same thing. And also, maybe something else I would say, the challenges we are facing as a country, it's not only political. We have challenges in every sector. We cannot all be leaders. We cannot all be in the political class. But as a Gen Z in your workplace, what difference are you making? As a Gen Z who is a farmer, what difference are you making? Because we think everything is about the politicians, or we are the victims right now. Nasijakata, tumeteseka, tumewekwa kwa shida. But how do we move from victims to doers? How do we move from victim to people who make real impact? We are tribeless, that is what we say on social media, but I would love us to engage with university politics. What happens there? Technical University of Kenya did elections very soon, very recent. MKU, UN is doing elections. As we say, we are tribeless. Are we? I think there's a dishonesty we are.
So you're saying no, it's not true. Essentially, you can take that position. If the word has come out and people say we're tribeless, we're leaderless, whatever, ever less, and you're saying that's not the case, so we need to be true about certain things. Can we shift this a little bit? Yes. And we come back to you, Priscilla, in just a while. Ademba, that suddenly there's a lot of responsibility on this initiative right now to see that it births something. And that there's got to be new leadership. That's one thing that comes out very clearly, that there's got to be new leadership, because the status quo situation is not something that Kenyans are satisfied with. But I don't know if you hear what is happening, and it may be far removed from what your original plan was, to go and register and then make sure that this voter apathy that we deal with is now, a thing of the past. So when we talk, it has to do something, it has to go somewhere. One of the things you mentioned is that really doesn't matter what political party you are affiliated with, that register you don't even have to be. But the conversation over the last couple of days is that this movement, Tuko Kadi, that's great, but then that they're saying that you must join a political party so that this movement can have some kind of shape, and that you must identify somebody who is going to lead this thing from point A to point B. Had your mind ever gone in that direction, and does it make any kind of sense that there must be some kind of order? If not, it doesn't work.
Yeah, there must be some kind of order.
Okay.
I have to agree with that, because without order, then we are disorganized. And let me start with the issue of political parties. In Kenya, constitutionally, you have to be in a political party to be elected a leader.
No, you can be an independent.
Yeah, I'm coming there.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Is that you either go independent or you go with the political parties. And Kenya, we have a lot of parties. And if you all know that registering a party right now, haitawezekana. No matter how much you have, and especially if you're a young person and you're attached to a Gen Z movement, you're not going to get your party registered. But now this is it. We want leadership, and a lot of people have talked about it. We want leadership, we want governance, because we are the people who are feeling the weight. We are the people who actually know what it takes. I'm born and raised in Kibra. I actually moved out of Kibra in last year, mwezi wa saba. But I'm still in Kibra like every day, because that's where my people are. I've faced bad leadership, I've faced governance myself. And I'm bringing this because let me talk for the MCA of the ward that I stay in Kibra. That MCA cannot even write a one sentence in English.
My name is.
Yeah, he cannot do that. And he's actually the minority leader in Nairobi. Nairobi City County.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's actually the minority leader because he's from Wiper. Now, this is the issue. The problem sometimes is us Kenyans, to begin with. We are the actual problem with the voters. I love the question that, do Kenyans actually understand the power of the vote?
Yeah.
Do they actually understand? Because yesterday we in Nakuru, we rallied hundreds of people to go register for voting in different stations, not in a single station. We were in 5 stations, and we rallied people. In those rallies, there were people who are 50s, they have never registered to vote. In those rallies, there were people who just came out of Form 4 last year. But now, the biggest task is now making this person who is from Form 4 to understand the power of his vote. It's going to be difficult for me to make somebody who is 70 to understand the power of his vote who has never voted. Now, this is what I'm saying. If you are going to elect leaders, you as a leader, Pia, you are the electorate, when unachagua watu, please have a retrospective mindset and look, who am I going to put in this office? Why is it that you unajua vizuri that the person you're electing is not actually going to bring change? Because it's not something that you need to be told. If you're going to elect a leader, you know these leaders. Niseme Kibra, we have 7 MPs who are vying. And out of all the 7 MPs, 3 are probably rich, they are well connected, they have money. And you know these people, in Kibra we have even drug lords and drug dealers vying for seats. But you see, people will go where money is. People will not go where leadership is.
Right, okay.
People will, and that's called for us as the citizens. Who do we actually want in those offices? Are we going to go for money? Because I'm going to give the example of this MCA. This MCA actually won because he had people at the queuing lines that could vote, just dishing out money. At the last station, he was not campaigning before. And that is how he actually won. But now sisi wenyewe tutarudi tuna complain. And also another problem that we have as citizens, if a genuine leader comes up, I'm not saying I'm a leader, and I don't want to be given the burden that now you are the leader, venye wanasema zinjakas mola kina morara. If a genuine leader comes up, na tunasema, this is a leader, utasikia, we are na pesa za campaign. Why do you want us to pay to lead?
Yeah.
Why do you want us to pay to lead? Because if you see a by-election, somebody spends 600 million for a by-election campaign. A job that is not going, if you do the mathematics, the amount of money is going to be paid in that duration is not going to bring that money that is spent in that election. Not even by half of it. So why do you spend all that money? But people will go, may spend 600 million because I'm going to pay 50 bob, 100 bob. But you have to see, in Mbeere North, there were other leaders. Now, because they don't have the money, they were never elected. Now, what does that say? Sisi ndio the shida. We vote based on what we receive at that moment, what we are offered at that exact moment that we are going to vote. And that has been the problem from the 90s. And that is what we, the GenZs, have said.
Yes.
Hapa kuna people wako na degrees hapa. And utapata most of them, they don't have the jobs. So they actually understand why they need good leaders. But if I find them anapata 500 ndio vote, then we are the problem.
So if they understand that good leadership is required, but at the instant where you're offered the 200, 500 shillings, it's a difficult question then, but why take it?
Now, that's why I say it needs introspection.
Okay.
Why take 500 shillings to determine the next 5 years of your life? You're going to elect this person for the next 5 years of your life because he gave you 200 shillings. You didn't see that there's need for bursaries. You didn't see that there's need for roads in that constituency. You did see that there's need for development of the sewer lines in that constituency. You did see that there's need for schools to be built, so schools to have school buses. All on to your 500 shillings, which is okay because if you go to Kibra, pia kuna mwenye, in a week anazapata, the highest amount of money anazapata is probably 500. There are people who go without getting the 200 in a day.
Yeah.
But that's also calls. Now that is the reason we need the good leadership.
Yeah. I mean,
see?
Ademba,
Yeah.
I want to look at a situation where you said that for organization to be then for anyone to get elected. Well, one of the easiest ways to get into political parties. We know that even in National Assembly today, majority of individuals who are in these who are in parliament are through political parties.
Through political parties, yeah.
And young people have to, in one way or the other, find themselves through political parties for them to be elected. Now, is this therefore an opportunity for the young people to say, fine, Tuko Kadi, but we must organize ourselves, get into these political parties and change the situation in these political parties?
Do you know how hard it is for a young person to get to a mainstream political party in Kenya? If I wake up today, not because I'm Ademba right now, if the Ademba that was there 3 weeks ago wake up and say that I want to go join ODM and vie for Kibra MP seat, do you know how hard is it for me to get that nomination, that party nomination, to be there? Because I'm giving an example of Kibra because it's something that I've seen.
Yes.
In the last election we had, I'm going to still give my word, not the entire Kibra. The person who was going with the ODM seat. ODM nomination, party nomination, she actually lost. She actually lost. But there were other competent leaders who wanted that nomination. Now, the reason the lady lost in the election is because she had all the money to pay ODM, but she's not an ideal leader to the people who are electing these people. You see, she had all the money because she had served as an ODM MCA in the same ward, and people actually saw bad leadership to the point that they say, we are not going to re-elect you no matter what party you came with. And what now people are doing was payback. We don't care who you are going to elect as long as we don't elect you.
But Ademba, I look at a situation where even the 8 million strong that you talk about, those who never turned out to vote, it is said, based off stats, majority are young people. We're talking about 15 million strong.
Yeah,
if you look at the numbers that we're talking about in terms of young people, right, of the youth who can change the situation and change the stories even within these political parties, because let's face it, these political parties as well depend on these young people and the numbers that they come with for them to survive. So if the young people understand the power of their vote and take initiatives, intentional initiatives to change situations in these political parties, do they have a say, or is it dead on arrival?
Okay, my correct answer for that, I won't say correct answer, is now that's where we need the collective voice. The collective voice in supporting these younger people. Because we are going to be the biggest voting bloc come next year, the youth. But right now, because the political class has noticed that, after they said that we are not registering for voting, now what is the narrative? These people are tribal. Now that is the biggest narrative that is across all mainstream media. Because now the voter apathy may fail terribly. People are now registering to vote. Now merudi kuwa, we are tribal. But my question is, if we actually can come as a collective voice, the youths, because politicians hate our unity. They would love our disunity. They would love if we are divided. But if we come up as a united voice, that we are going to elect competent, not only young, but competent leaders. Be it the old, but you are competent. Be it the young, but you are competent. Because as we started this conversation, being young is not a green flag or a green light to be elected. We have crooks who we elected in 2022 with the card of I'm a young person. I represent the younger people. So it's up to us to stand up and say that we have the voice. If we are going to ODM, we are going to tell them that we are the biggest voting bloc. Accept us as we come, or else we are going to vote in independent leaders. Because what is it going to cost us if we elect a competent leader through the independent, as an independent candidate? But that is very difficult to happen in Kenya. That is very difficult to happen in Kenya, because I started by saying that the political class have noticed that the only way they can do this is by dividing us. And that's why you see they pick most vocal youths to come and spread the narrative of these people are tribal. Where was the talk of tribes when we were in the streets in 2024? Because that narrative failed in 2024. That narrative failed in 2025. And now that we're heading in 2026, now that's the most crucial point for this conversation.
Right.
Now, because you see, Nairobi, I think, leads with the number of GenZs who are going to register. Then there is the Mount Kenya, and that's where the conversations of Mount Kenya, Nyanza, everything starts. And the moment they feed that information to your head, we are tribal.
So we should not. That reasoning that was used in the last election should not be allowed to be used.
And the only way we are going to allow that, to make sure that it's not allowed, is by us ourselves. Mbona tukue ati right now ndo tunasema we are tribal. Yes, I've been into universities. I know that the university elections imekuwa tribal. I have to say that. Unapata kuna siji leaders za Wajaluo in a certain university, kuna leaders za Wakikuyu, kuna leaders za nini. But why do we allow that as the young people? Why is it that when a young person goes to campus, the first thing is taken is join Onagi Association from to what end? I've never joined those things. To what end? How is it going to help me to join an Onagi Association in a campus?
Yes.
They've never paid my rent. They've never paid my school fees. How is it going to elevate my stature? How is it going to... It's us, the young people, to wake up and say that these things are nonsensical, because these are the same tactics that have been used since the 90s. You talked about the people who are leading us right now. They are the same people who are jailed around during the multipartyism, during that Moi era, most of them. And for example, and you find that only 2 or 3 people are the people now we bado tunaongelea as young people, as competent leaders, not fully competent. Utasikia tu name dropping people like Senator Kinonyonka, Akina Nani. But it's because that time they were not actually fighting for good governance. They were just fighting for multi-party democracy.
Yes.
They just wanted to fight for good governance. Watu wako hapa ndani when they can't even send their mom 500 akipiga simu. But wako na doctorates, wako na masters, wako na degrees. Yet after feeling all this pain, bado tunakuwa allowed kukua ati hawa ni Wajaluo, hawa ni Wakikuyu, ati these GenZs are tribal, ngoja ufike. My friend, we are going to try as much as possible, I as Ademba, to make sure that, I know it's a difficult thing, and I'm not crowning myself a leader. I'm not crowning myself as the person with the solution. But if we can come up through Tuko Kadi, or if we can join forces to make sure that easy narratives wanaleta, they don't actually succeed. You've seen the narratives nimeletewa since we started Tuko Kadi. First, I was sponsored by an NGO. Second, I was sponsored by Ure and I was given 20 million. Third, I'm sponsored by Rigathi Gachagua. It only failed when I said that I don't report Rigathi Gachagua. Right now, I'm sponsored by people sending me money. Nikikuonyesha by M-Pesa balance yangu, I have 3,450. Because most of the money that I had, we actually spent yesterday. And there are questions, who is actually financing you Kutembea? And do you know why I'm bringing all this conversation? It's the younger people who are actually fighting us, who are fighting for good governance. Because they are sponsored, they are paid, whatever, they are in the government, they are government bloggers. Yeah. Unaona hawa wenye wanakulipa 15,000 right now to fight good governance. Sad to say hawa watu watakuwa wamekufa in the next 10 years or 20 years. But your children watakuwa wanataka school fees ya kwenda shule. Your children watakuwa wanataka pesa tu ya kwenda kufanywa medication. And you won't be able to have that because right now you are fighting the same people who are trying to make sure that we have the good leadership in 10 years to come.
Guys, are we the voice of change that you want to see?
Okay, thank you once again. And
Will Smith, Inwaju.
Okay. Thank you once again. And my take on Tuko Kadi. Tuko Kadi is a platform which is initiating us into the next stage where we have to use the numbers that we have for better leadership. Now, what I mean is the numbers we have, we do not have to rely on the political class to give us direction on where we are heading to. We can decide that we are not going to be in these political parties and there is nothing they're going to do. We are going to vie as independent candidates and we are going to present ourselves with policies. And these young people here understand what we want and what we want to do for this country. You will just go and look into my integrity level, my competency level, what I'm able to do for them as a youth, and they elect me into these positions. I do not have to present myself as Will Smith Odhiambo, a member of ODM, for me to be elected as an MP maybe in the same constituency in Kisumu County. The people of Kisumu County will look at what I'm able to do. But the only way we can do that is we as the GenZs, after registering as voters out there, let us turn ourselves out, tuende huko nje na tuongee na our other generation. Because I feel there is a gap. These other generations still wako kwa ile cult ya partyship. Lazima tu tupigie mtu wa party fulani, lazima hii area haiwezi tawalwa na mtu yote mwenye is from another person. Let us try convince our parents, other generation, that sio lazima mtu atoke kwa party fulani ndio achaguliwe hapa. Look at what that person is going to do for you. Look at the challenges you are facing as a member of this particular constituency, for example ni piane na Nairobi County. Let us not elect somebody kwa sababu the party has dictated so, or is from my political tribe, where I'm coming from. Look at the issues that Nairobians are facing, the flooding, iyo mambo na kubomolewa and whatever. The person who is going to solve that problem and bring sanity to this city is the right candidate for that. And I believe, as the GenZs, we have the number, we have the power. We can decide after registering that 15 million strong. We don't have to support these people who are now trying to hijack the movement and say, oh, GenZs, my sons and daughters, my brothers and sisters. We can decide one of us who has proven and has integrity level. We are going to support you. We are going to work with you. We are going to make sure you be part and be at the forefront of the change that we as the youth want for this country.
Indeed.
Let's not try and say that Kasmuel changed, whoever changed. We are not Kasmuel. We are different people. We know what we want to do for this country. I know what unemployment has caused for many youths in this country. We want to change the problem, but you cannot say that Kasmuel started like this and Kasmuel changed. I am not going to change because I'm not Kasmuel.
Okay.
I believe that I am capable of doing what Kasmuel was not able to do.
Okay.
So the conversation here should be, let us do what the youth need to be done for them.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, we'll take some more as we get towards it. Yep.
Thank you so much. If you look back, just slightly back to how the demonstrations of 2024 happened, you will find that each and every person, there was a problem that was taking him or her to the streets. They were either they did not have jobs. Some of the young people did not have jobs. Some of them were not able to access healthcare. Some of them had different issues. And that forms the basis of one of the major reasons why we have a slightly woke generation. And I'm very glad, because right now, if it's about the taxes, everybody is being taxed. If it's about the fuel, everybody is being affected by that. If it's about issues of joblessness, everybody is being affected by that. All these additional taxes on the payroll, everybody is being affected. And that is one of the reasons. Kama nisha, if it's not working for me, it's probably not working for you. So there's no way you can side on one side and just wait and see. Right now, the young people have come to understand that if you don't go and vote, you will still be affected. There's no way you can sit back and say, you know what, politics is not for me. Leadership will affect you whether you vote or not. So the decision on who is going to lead you is one of the most important decisions ever. And young people must come out and change who they are. And I like also what people are saying here, that it is about competence. The idea of draining the swamp at times come out as though we are trying to form something like a cult. You know, we are saying, kila mtu atoke. We don't care what they have done. We don't care. We have some leaders who are good and they are slightly older. And some of them are there. We also have some who are young and they are thugs. We know them. And the basis of choosing a leader cannot just be a young person. It must be about competence. What are they able to do? Are they able to articulate their issues? The position they are asking for. Are they actually able to do what they want in that position? Yeah. So that has to be the basis of how we choose our leaders as young people.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's take some more as we go through.
The idea that how do we know if we choose the young people, then there'll be the same problem as the one we have, then takes us back to the narrative of better the devil you know than the devil you don't know, which will give us a stagnation with the movement. That question is answered by the Constitution. We hold leaders through oversight, participation, and pressure. And this generation has constant pressure. The pressure does not stop. From demonstrations to all these social media movements, that is the pressure that we have seen, that is awakening, that is giving a political class an awakening that, oh my gosh, this is not business as usual. We have to do something. And what the current administration is doing is trying to hijack, the way they said, oh, Tuko Kadi, and someone said, Tuko Kadi yakoni, red card, because you've been given so many yellow cards. They're trying to infiltrate the movements that are coming up. And as I said, if this one dies down, something else will come up. Ademba said...
Ademba.
Allan. Ademba said that people don't understand what the vote means. And I want to tell young Kenyans this, that a vote is a contract with someone. Figure out if you will want this person as a partner for the next 5 years. If he has not shown you that he is a competent partner to lead you, then do not choose him again. Figure out who you would want to be in partnership for the next 5 years. Every day you wake up and you think, I chose the right person. You are choosing your future for the next 5 years. And this whole thing is not just excitement. It's about responsibility. And this generation was accused of lacking leadership and direction. And we have seen since 2024 just how much leadership and direction we all have. It is a generation that is unlike any other. Before, we will see demonstrations being led by one person, for example, the late Baba. This time, it is a collective. Allan took 600 people to vote, and it was not organized. It's just a friend who asked you, take me to vote, and it became a movement. That shows leadership. So, to answer Priscilla, don't say, we don't know whether you will be like that person, because that has been the trend. Give someone a chance, someone who has shown a little bit of initiative, someone who is has shown a little bit of competence. And I think young Kenyans right now are the choice to take.
Okay. I mean, why we have these conversations is to put some things out into the open, and I think some real gems have come out today that hopefully will be the things that people feed on when we say come out and register. If a constituency is taking, and we know that there's 290 of them, if 290 offices are taking registrations from 700 people a day, do the math for the next, I don't know, even 3 months, if that's going to happen. And that you can actually move it with the numbers, that you can actually move it. And if what you're looking for, and maybe from what you said, Allan, from what other folks have said in the room today, if what you're looking for is not to remove anyone necessarily, but to push for the right thing, if that's the focus, perhaps that's what everybody's looking for. And at the end of the day, to secure Kenya and to secure its people should be the number one agenda, whether you're young, whether you're older, whether you're on your way out of the thing or you're just starting. So we want to thank each and every one of you for being in our Spice Baraza this morning. Thank you for making your contributions. I know, man, but our minutes are ticking away. Allan, thank you for doing this. Usichoke, as they say, leading this in this way, whatever it is. Everybody in your positions where you have it, I'll give you 5 seconds, sir, real quick.
All right, thank you very much. This is my final punchline concerning this.
3 seconds left.
Now, look. What I will say, there is no nation that has ever achieved anything worthwhile without a youthful dream. We are the right people, and of course, we lack nothing. Actually, we have everything. All we need is to start. Right from the first liberation of this nation, second liberation, now we are in the third liberation. All of them, history has it, were all championed by the young people. And therefore, the issues of the old are looking at us as if we are green, as if we have nothing to provide. Let me tell you and let me assure you, we are organizing, we are coming up, with big and better things for a better Kenya that we want. And therefore, Tuko Kadi na tunakuja. Thank
Asante
you.
sana. Thank you for that. A great way to end it. Again, thank you very much. And we continue to watch and see how this goes. Thank you, everybody, once again. Good morning.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.